What's going on, everybody? It's Antonio from Akari Press. We're on the Indiegogo, $68,640. Santana, baby. Triple cover pack is, of course, still ongoing. If you want it, head on over to Indiegogo or just type in AkariPress.com. It'll take you right there. Link, of course, is in the description. All right, so this is the Howard Stern YouTube channel, I guess for the Sirius XM. And I've been subscribed to this for a while. This is they always take the best video from the week, and then they clip it up, and they make, this is what, 36-minute video, the best of the week. Russell Crowe and 20 years of Gary's love tape. I love the whole thing. I watched the whole thing. It's fantastic. But like I said, go to the Howard Stern YouTube channel and subscribe, because I used to watch the E! Show all the time, so I dig it. He had, as you can see on the screen here, this is Russell Crowe, and I was shocked when I saw him. I was like, oh wow, Russell Crowe looks pregnant and everything. Now, what I didn't know was that Russell Crowe was there in part to promote his movie. I think it's called The Loudest Voice. It's a television movie. It's going to air on Showtime. They showed a little clip of. There's another little segment on the channel. I think it's only like two and a half minutes of Russell and Howard actually talking about the film. But Russell Crowe is playing, the Fox News founder, Roger Ailes. They had that scandal and got Me Too'd out of there and the whole deal, and then he passed away and the whole thing. But as you can see here, Russell is healthy in this. I mean, he's definitely a bigger guy. And in the clip I saw, they still had to put like a fat suit on him. He's got it looked like the clumps or something. He had to like double chin. So he put on some weight. And then they still had to kind of put some prosthetics on him, to make him look even bigger, so it was kind of funny. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the movie. That whole thing with Roger Ailes, I thought that was fascinating. But this whole clip was great. They showed the Gary's love tape again. I remember when that happened on the E! Channel. What was it? I think the girl's name was Nancy, that Gary Delabate had been dating, and like they broke up in like 1987, 1988, and then Gary decided he missed her, and he made, he video recorded himself, like a 12-minute tape trying to get her to come back, and he sent it to her. And then I guess her and the guy that she started seeing, they watched the tape together, and they were goofing on him. And so like 11 years after this aired, the guy called in to Howard, and he was like, yeah, there's a tape and everything. And, obviously Howard got the tape, and then or Gary had it. Gary had a copy of it. I guess he made a copy and sent her a copy. And Gary didn't want to show the tape at first, so Howard, they raised money. He gave a certain amount that he would show the tape for, and then fans donated, and Howard let them come into the studio and meet him, take pictures and the whole deal. And that aired on E! And it was hilarious. They actually showed a clip of that too, when they had all the fans in the studio watching the Gary tape, goofing on him, cucking out, trying to get this chick back. But I just thought the whole thing was fat. This is, like I said, I love the Howard Stern YouTube channel, because they just take all the best stuff and just load it up. And I know some people feel like Howard's lost his edge, but I think he's still funny. The Russell Crowe stuff, I watched the stuff, the other clips that he had of Russell Crowe, and Russell's very funny. And one thing Russell said that I didn't know was that New Line had approached him, and he had a phone call with Peter Jackson about him playing Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. And Russell turned it down because he said that when he talked to Peter, Peter was kind of just going through the motions, and Peter didn't want it. And he felt like the only reason Peter even called him was because New Line was kind of interfering, and they were like, "You need a star to be in this movie," because they really didn't have a lot of they had Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen had been nominated for an Oscar. What was it? I think it was Of Gods and Monsters. That's a great movie, by the way, Of Gods and Monsters. Him and Brendan Fraser in that. But Ian McKellen, great actor, brilliant Royal Shakespearean Theater, all that. But the rest of the people in that movie were all like B-list actors. And even Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen is a brilliant actor, and he's been nominated a few times for Oscars. But even now, I don't consider him. He's not a box office draw, but that's probably because he's stayed away from like commercial movies, and he likes to do those kind of independent. He's a quote unquote real actor. You're not going to see him being a cop trying to negotiate with a terrorist, and they're about to blow the building up. We've got to call in our negotiator, and big action movie guy. That's not his thing. He does real movies. And there's less money in real movies. Whereas Russell will do a real movie, and then he'll go and do something where he can get nominated for awards and stuff. But Russell said that, he could tell when he was talking to Peter, they're both from New Zealand, and he was just like, yeah, he just wasn't really into me, and I feel like there was New Line making it. But they offered him something that I'm pretty sure Viggo did not get offered to play the part in Lord of the Rings, where him and Howard were talking, and he said that, he had a back end deal on Lord of the Rings where he would have got 10%. He would have got 10% of the gross of the movie. So, and they made 3 movies that all made over $1 billion. He would have got, just for the first movie, he would have made over $100 million if he had taken the part, and he turned it down because he was like, yeah, Peter doesn't want me. And, obviously they cast Viggo, and Viggo was brilliant in Lord of the Rings, but that would have been interesting because I think Russell would have been interesting in Lord of the Rings. One thing I was hoping that I was going to see on this clip was I wanted Howard to talk about the interview that Robin Givens had did on E! What was it? What's that show? Watch What Happens Live. And she had talked about the time that her and Howard had dated, which Howard had kind of kept that on the low. I remember when he first got divorced from Allison, he had mentioned, that he had, he used to joke. He's like, I've dated a black. I've gone out with the blacks, and he never would say who that person was. And then obviously over the years it came out that him and Robin Givens dated, for a little while after his divorce from Allison. But he also, Howard also dated Angie Everhart for like a year and a half, 2 years. He dated her for a little while, which Angie Everhart's smoking hot. But Robin actually said that, Howard's kind of putting on when he talks about his size, and all that. And so, like I said, since she mentioned it, I kind of wanted Howard to respond, since she kind of put some information out there when she was, that clip's on YouTube too, of her on Watch What Happens Live. But I wanted Howard to talk about that, and it didn't. I know that's the thing that's kind of weird about Howard now. He doesn't talk about his personal life that much. Whereas when he was married, like especially when he was married to Allison, it used to drive her crazy. He would be talking about, things that was going on in the bedroom, just private stuff. He even talked about, she had a miscarriage, and he talked about it on the air, and she really didn't want him to talk about that. They had problems. So they had fights because he would reveal certain things. And now that he's married to Beth, him and Beth are, they've been married, they've been together at least 10, 12 years now. But that's one of the things that Howard fans are kind of ticked off about. They feel like, oh, now he's kind of private. He doesn't like to talk about private things, and he used to be the old Howard. He would put it all out there. Now he's like, yeah, I guess they want him to talk about his relationship with Beth the same way he talked about the relationship with Allison, but he doesn't do that. But I, again, loved this clip. Is great. And I thought, and I'm looking forward to seeing Russell Crowe play Roger Ailes, because, like I said, he, as you can see, he's a little chunky here, but they still had to put the Mr. Clump fat suit on him. It looks like, it was weird seeing that, because I was like, man, I don't know if I would have beefed up for that, but I saw what's the guy that played Batman, Christian Bale. I know when he played the vice president, Dick Cheney, he put on like 70 pounds, and he's back slim again, but I was like, goodness, man, that's, as someone who is overweight, it's not easy getting that weight off, man, especially when you get older. So I don't know if I would be chunking up like that to play these parts, but Russell's a brilliant actor. I'm definitely going to check it out, and I like Lisa Kudrow also, so I can't wait for the movie. I think it's coming out in a couple more weeks on Showtime. The loudest voice in the room. But either way, I'm definitely checking it out. Go to the Howard Stern channel. Check. They've got tons of videos up. This is great content on there. Let me know what you guys think. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in AkariPress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm out.